Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to On the Ball, the Summer League show, the Summer League series. This is the last segment of this show. We've seen the results, Arash Bhai. We've seen the league tables. Not a major surprise, Mamadan, BYM winning there. Obviously, there's odd surprise here and there. Some mouth-watering fixtures coming up. Mahbub, although you've come back with PYO and you went on this little short break, which you call it little, and was a kind of like long 3-4 year break that you went away from the scene. It's good to see yourselves back here as well. And I think it's important that people like Arash Bhai, Surat Bhai, Kari Bhai, they've been around for years. So it's important that when we do take our breaks, we don't take an extremely long break like that.
I have taken
a
break.
The whole footballing community will just collapse.
No, I have been in regular contact with a lot of the players anyway. I think that's one reason why I felt it was the right time for us to come back in to the league with a fresh crop of players, because I'm more into developing young players, although with Mohammed and a lot of the players that came in were the players that we worked with, and they were under 40s, under 60s. We did the international tours, we took them to Bangladesh, we took them to the World Youth Cup and stuff. So I thought we did our job, and they've obviously gone on and stayed and they played that sport.
That's one of the reasons, you've been an active member of the footballing community, so it's kind of good to see you back here again.
And one thing we have to be indebted and, set the record straight, PYO gave up their slot in the Asian League for Sporting Bengal, and the community is always going to be indebted for that action, because of that action, we as a community have progressed. So
I think this was in 1997, wasn't it?
I believe so. Yeah. So credit is always where
97,
credit
98
is due.
Season. I remember that season. Just for the viewers that actually not sure about the history, when Sporting Bengal was created, they needed to go into the Asian Football League, which the plan was form Sporting Bengal, put all our resources, our better players together, and go into the Asian League. But unfortunately, Asian League at that time had 3 divisions. To start climbing from the 3rd division, PYO kindly agreed to give up their slot for Sporting Bengal, and Sporting Bengal, that's where it all started. Double for the first 2 years. On the 3rd year, it was just the league championship, but runners up in the cup. Otherwise, it would have been a triple double.
Yeah. So I always, wherever credit is where credit is due, and set the record straight that. That was quite a kind of an act. Not everyone would do that, I don't think so.
I think it was one of the first times as a Bangladeshi community, and I know in the older days, the BYM, the PYO, Shapla, you guys used to go venture into tournaments. But at that time, Asian League, I remember managing the Asian League, all us Bangladeshi run football team, we were all struggling.
Yeah, exactly.
We were at the foot of the table, or we were playing the 1st division or the 2nd division. So, the respect level from the other communities towards the Bangladeshi footballers wasn't the greatest.
It was never there, and fortunately, by being united and getting Sporting Bengal, we showed them that.
And I think the initial idea was, right, we're going to put it together, we're going to be competitive, but I don't think, while it's free, to do triple league titles in the first 3 years, do the first double, it was a marvellous achievement.
And to this
day,
shows
how well we can do sticking together as a community.
And to this day, the other communities within the Asian community respect us. Wherever we go now, Bengali football has got a respect, and it's all due to Sporting Bengal, and obviously, the generosity of organisations like PYO giving up their slot for the bigger picture, for the bigger cause.
And I think, with time, and obviously we've seen that with the Summer League, and we've seen that with Sporting Bengal as well. Initially, when the Summer League started, I think we wanted to promote the Bangladeshi community as much as possible. I think we allowed 1 or 2 non-Bangladeshi players to play in the Summer League. Obviously, now we have, every team has at least 4, maximum they can have 4 players, non-Bangladeshi players, they can put into the team. Sporting Bengal at that time was an all Bangladeshi team.
And interestingly, the whole purpose of Summer League is to promote Bangladeshi footballers. I won't be ashamed to say that. I'm very proud of my community, and Sporting Bengal always has flown the flag, or the BFA, and we're not shy away from that. We had to fight to have this format in terms of this,
But I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with that format. A lot of the questions that does come externally, are you restricting other ethnicity from playing in your league? And that's not the case here, because it's a case of promoting the Bangladesh community. You have the likes of Mahbub, you have the other brothers that are developing the younger players. The Premier Division has become so competitive and so lucrative, everyone wants to win it. So as a manager myself, if that restriction wasn't put in place, I'd probably use my better players. So all of a sudden the Bangladeshi players wouldn't get the opportunity to play there. It's not a restriction on other players. I think it's just a proportion. I think the Football Association, they've come up with their master plan as well to try and see how they can promote the English players coming through the homegrown players.
Yeah,
so
and
I think it's very similar to that.
I think the important kind of point we miss as well is one of the main reasons of the Summer League is to develop players for Sporting Bengal, because as you know, we're quite restrictive in terms of players playing against, say, Sporting Bengal, or because our view is, look, we spend a lot of time, effort developing our community players, and other people shouldn't abuse it to.
But I think that is quite straightforward, clear, and I'm pretty sure the players do actually read the declaration. The declaration actually does say, by signing on to play the summer league, I hereby make myself available to play for Sporting Bengal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I'm not available to play for Sporting Bengal due to personal reasons, I wouldn't want to go and play for another team that plays at Sporting Bengal's level. So, though, yes, the teams are there, they're paying an entry fee, they want to win the summer league. But as players, as clubs, we're all signing on to a declaration saying, we actually hereby give ourselves.
Yeah, I think what I was alluding to is a bigger picture that it's not just about playing in a league. Yeah. It's for the bigger cause, i.e. we want to invest in our best players to play for Sporting Bengal, who hopefully would challenge better in semi-professional level and even higher. So
because even obviously, I'm alhamdulillah blessed to have the opportunity to manage Sporting Bengal, and one thing we have that other clubs don't. All our players are community based. They're not on any contracts or anything. They all come through the summer league. If one or two don't come through the summer league, they join Sporting Bengal. They come into the summer league. So there's no way out of it. Either way, they're a part of both.
And because our basis is firm, you'll hear how many teams have changed and will fold, etc. But alhamdulillah, because our thought process was always kind of, I don't know, sincere, maybe a finger word, but we always wanted best for the community, and the infrastructure is there. As you say, we rely on 30 to 40 teams as a kind of a recruiting ground, as a summer league is the recruiting ground for Sporting Bengal. And because the foundations are, I believe, right, alhamdulillah, I think we should see Sporting go on for years to come.
Especially now that we have the academy in place, because I think that was one thing that was actually missing from our little jigsaw here. We had the summer league and we had Sporting Bengal, but we didn't have the academy for the last 4 or 5 years. Now that we've got the academy in place, and a very successful academy as well, must say,
obviously we are hoping big things for the academy. We don't want necessarily these kids to play for Sporting. We want them to play professional. But the plan B is, say, not obviously everyone's going to be a professional footballer. It's very difficult. At least Sporting Bengal would guarantee semi-professional football for these youngsters.
Yeah, and I think for viewers that are watching and you have kids that you want to take to football, Sporting Bengal Academy runs every Tuesday from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Stepney Green 4th generation AstroTurf. So if you're interested, log on to the bfauk.com website, or there's numbers there for Manik Bhai, Imrul. Contact any one of them, or actually just turn up, sign the forms, and the information's there. It's an opportunity not only for your kids to spend 2 hours playing football, but opportunity because professional scouts and clubs do actually come to these sessions, or we actually invite us to go to sessions, because I believe our boy's been to QPR, Milton Keynes and different places, and one of our coaches, Imrul, he's now one of the scouts for QPR. So it's not just the kids itself, it's even the community, the volunteers, the opportunities are growing.
Definitely, Mahbub, as you say, that we've come leaps and bounds, because now if a potential kid has got the right skills, we got the contacts, we can just call, phone up and say, look, we've got a kid, and a professional club will come and see that
fantastic
kid.
Just quickly before we run out of time, let's run through the Premier Division fixtures for next week, and I'm going to put you on the spot, Mahbub and Arish Bhai. BYM Newark, Abani Mamadan. That just sounds quite fantastic.
It's classic.
Direct from Bangladesh. You got Abahandi and Mamadan in London playing here. FC Usmani versus Ace, Beaumont versus Ponders End, and Stepney versus E7 Probashi. Let's start with the first one. BYM Newark, 2 young teams. Should be fantastic.
I mean, it's mouth
should be a fast and fantastic.
Mouth-watering. All the ties I could see. Second week, whoever's done the fixtures is quite interesting.
Everybody's made these fixtures quite interesting this year. BYM Newark, no doubt, will be fantastic. Abuani, they actually knocked Mohammedan at the Cup last year as well in the semi-final stage.
I think Mohammedan were a different prospect this time round. We got a first win, and I think the boys will be very confident.
Historically, Abuani seem to always raise their game against Mohammedan. I've actually realised that even in the old days when Mohammedan were actually dominating the Summer League. Come Abuani, there's that part where Abuani...
Well, we are the successful older brothers, so when they see us...
No doubt that should be fantastic, and for the older generation, this first generation of Bangladeshis living in our community, Abuani, Mohammedan, now you may not have the opportunity to watch in Dhaka, pop into Stepney Green, 4th generation AstroTurf, 12 o'clock, Abuani versus Dhaka. FC Usmani versus Ace, Shafiq Bhai going... heads on against FC Usmani. So do you see 2 wins out of 2 for Sophie Bay here?
I think so. I mean, he seems to have the Midas touch. Wherever he goes, he wins things. So I think, Ace.
So Usmani have lost their first game, so the pressure will be on them as well. So
Yeah.
let's see if Sophie Bay can continue his magic touch. 2 teams that have 0 points at the moment are struggling out. Beaumont versus Pondasent.
Well, that's going to be a classic or very
Should
tough
see
game.
a lot of senior league players on display in that game from both sides.
Loads of semi-professionals. So that I'm expecting a really good game there as well.
E7 versus Stepney FC. Stepney picking up just a point against Abwani, which most of us would have expected them to pick up maximum points. E7 lost 2-1 to Ace today. So do you see E7 pulling off upset against Stepney or?
I think so, because with due respect to Stepney, I see a very aging team.
We've been talking about that for hosting this 3 years. We've been talking about that. Stepney certainly not bothered.
But I think
making no difference.
Last couple of seasons, if I'm mistaken, they've always started slowly.
They have,
so they seem to get their act together later on in the league. So I think I would go for E7 for next week. Yeah.
E7. Okay, that's an interesting one. I'm going to come back to you in a bit. We're just going to take a quick call. Yes, if you can put the call through. Hello, caller.
Hello, am I speaking to the studio?
Yes, you are.
Yes, sir. It's a very nice program.
Thank you.
I want to ask, how do I get involved in the football in BFA?
Okay, when you say get involved, are you looking to play, or do you have someone that is interested in playing? What age group are you looking
I have somebody, a friend who wants to play and take part in the summer league.
Okay, and what age? Is he over 16 or is he a youth member?
He's not youth, he's over 35, but he wants to play in the summer league.
If he's over 35, we had a caller just call in earlier. Ishwan Jamal Bhai, he's got a B team there as well. But most of the team contacts, brother, if you go onto the BFAUK.com website and if you press on the summer league, the contact details for all the teams are there. So if you look at all the team contact managers' numbers and secretary numbers, take your pick. There's 31 teams. Whoever you're interested in, you can call all the managers up and see which area and what level that you actually want to play.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you very much for watching and thank you for calling in. Yeah, 31 teams to pick from, so I'm sure you know.
So you can
plenty on offer.
We've got a B team of 40-year-olds.
I was going to say you can recruit live on air players.
Now, Babu, obviously, obviously we talked about you've been away. You know most of these teams.
Yeah.
Okay, do you BYM? Obviously, have you seen? You know, we've talked about BYM, how impressed we are, and the way that Newark have actually built up their youth academy. And Newark is a prime example of how to develop your youth players into your senior team. Is that a channel that you guys are looking through for BYU to do?
That's something that we're looking at, and obviously we're using our experience to build on that. You know, good credit to them, and obviously it takes a long time. You know, going back to Stepney, you know, I know I've seen them in the 2nd division today, and obviously they're working on a team. Obviously they're trying to develop players through there to feed into their Premier Division. And I know they've got a good youth setup now as well. So obviously they're looking for the future. Maybe it's taken a bit of time. I know when I was at Mahmoud, and it took us a bit of time. Obviously we had a B team. Then obviously for say financial reasons, I'm guessing we had to dispose of the B team at Mahmoud. But I think all of us, we need a feeder team or a youth team development set up there.
One of the things I've seen with some of the clubs, like my club as well, Beaumont, not necessarily a B team is a youth team, because I've seen our B team, although as much as I'm trying to get more youth players playing there, but we end up playing with players that used to play in the A team, so like accommodating them, trying to keep them involved. And I think pretty much with the Mahmoud B team, although there was a few younger players, we sort of kind of
I think
that's where Stepney B, they're doing a fantastic job. I see their team and I think it's a very youthful
team. It's a new faces there.
But if you see, Stepney have been investing in youth. They used to have under 14s, I believe, then under 16 in the Hamless Youth League. Now these under 14, under 16s, obviously now 17, 18, they're progressing into adult football. So yes, I think it's vital for any team to have a youth policy, i.e. start from under 8s, under 10s, etc., because they're the future. And like you say, maybe the B team needs a bit of experienced head together the youth, because if you put, well, someone infamously said you can't win anything with youth, so I'm not going to make that mistake, but I think you do need a balance of senior team and youth team to guide them.
Yeah, coming back to what Newark's actually done, obviously, as an organisation, obviously they've won the Summer League 3 times. They're bringing the youth forward, and we touched on it, you know, both the youth players through like Shafi, Saidus, Nazmul, who have gone on to play senior league football for Sporting League on a regular basis. And I think Nazmul established himself as a regular member this season. Shafi came into the scene last season. Now I look back and I think, okay, just say we didn't have Sporting Bengal. Would these players get an opportunity to play senior league level at any other club? I personally don't think.
And to be honest, if we're brutally honest, would some of the current players easily walk in? Maybe not. So we do kind of proactively, you know, provide a platform. Even if someone is not maybe up to scratch,
we try and develop them.
Given the benefit of that, because obviously professional level or other teams, they'll probably look at once and say, no, good enough. But we try to encourage. That's why we're there for. You know, the community is trying to kind of encourage these players and say, look, yeah, you can do it. Doesn't matter because you're Bengali, etc. You still got the skill, etc. Where somewhere else they might not get that opportunity.
Fantastic.
I think we've been quite fortunate, I guess, for having BFA and Sporting. You know, for me, even when I was secretary at Sporting, we used to get, you know, players being offered contracts from peers or from a higher division. So it's quite easy for
Prince is a typical example. But you know, since I've been managing, Prince has been
pretty much every season he's getting one.
And the kind of respectful thing, they turned it down because they like playing at
local football.
None of our boys actually get paid, so they all like coming to get base players. Mahbub, thank you for coming on the show, and thank you
for the opportunity.
And hopefully we'll see a bit more of you. Thank you very much, Arish Bhai. Obviously, see you next week at the Summer League show, and obviously you. That little camp, that is your little camp. I don't think no one's going around that camp.
It's the Murabbi camp.
It's the Murabbi camp. Join us next week where we'll be back on air at 8:30 on Sunday with more results, more action from the BFA Summer League. Until next week, Assalamu alaikum.